Let us keep modeling 3D parts using FreeCAD. For that, we're gonna go ahead and open a new file, and we're gonna try to make a part based on regular shapes. Regular shapes are cubes, cylinders, pyramids, etc. So there are many ways to build a part, but usually starting from regular shapes is the most convenient one. So let's go ahead and build a cube where we can change the dimensions from your data tab down here. Remember, the views to give you the properties, the data will give you the view will give you the details, the properties will be on the data. So here we're gonna say 100 millimeters by 30 millimeters by 12 millimeters. Okay, so scroll out to see your part. If you want to be able to move it around with the mouse, the middle button, where you can push the scroll button, you can move it. If you want to be able to rotate it, you can go to your Blender view, and then the same button will let you rotate. Okay, so let's go back to CAD, and now we're gonna subtract a part from this body. So picture about machining a channel or just cutting material through this face. So for that, we're gonna bring another part, and what we can do is go to part, create a copy, create a simple copy. So now we have two cubes. Of course, we're not gonna be able to see the difference because they're just on top of each other. So if we reduce the dimensions of one cube, let's say to 90, 20, and 8, then the cube is, now you can see that it's a different size, obviously, but we want to be able to move that cube. So when we go to placement on this cube, we go to placement, and then you're going to be able to see these three dots, meaning that you have more options if you click there, and then that will let you basically change your placement. So let's work on planes first. Go to front plane, and let's try to move this to the middle. So there's going to be 100 millimeters here. If I move it 5, then it's going to be from and this is 90. The second cube is 90 millimeters long, so we're going to have 5, so it's in the middle. For the Y, I want to be able to change my view, but first let's go to Z. So that is probably enough, and let's go to my right view and go to Y, because Y is this direction. This plane is the YZ, you can see it right here, and that is in the middle as well. Alright, so we know how to do this part. We just want to cut material, so click the first cube that you want to keep, then click the first cube, control click the second cube, and go to cut material, and then you have a Boolean operation of subtraction where both cubes are used to cut the material. Now we want to have screws, say 2 screws going through my part. So for that, we just need to have our cylinder cutting through the material. So that should be pretty simple. Let's go ahead and place cylinder and on the working plane. So that is excellent. It's at the same height as my base. So click on cylinder, under data, go to properties, and let's try to fix my dimensions. So I'm on the YZ plane, meaning that on the Y I can subtract, or positive Y's towards the left hand side. So positive y will take me to, oops, will take me to the center of the piece. There you go. So 15 because it was 30, that's going to be the middle point of it. Right now we're just designing random units, but usually you're going to have very precise units that you can follow. So these 15 millimeters are with respect to the center of the cube. I mean center of the cylinder. Okay, so the x-axis is this position, so let's do an axis here. So let's do a screw here, I mean, where we're gonna say at 20, and actually we need to change the radius. Let's say 5 millimeters, so it's 10 millimeters in diameter. Maybe that's a bit too big. Let's say 3 millimeters. Okay. Enter, and let's do a copy. So part, create a copy, create a simple copy, and then we have another one, and then we simply have to move it to the next direction. Keep the x and y and z, sorry, keep the y and z dimensions intact. Just move the x direction, and notice that the location is with respect to the 0, point. So we're gonna move it based on your design. Let's say at 75 millimeters is what we want. Say OK, and then we're probably going to look and see if it's passing through. So just to make sure that we won't have any issues with the cut, let's go to our placement again and cut through a little bit so that we can cut through the material. Okay, so that should work fine. Let's go and see what is going on here. So we can actually create a cut between this part, and we need to create a cut between the mold, the cube, and the cylinders, because we want to have an orifice for the screws. So for that, we're going to select the cylinder. Sorry, we're going to select the cube and then subtract the cylinders. But actually what we can do to be organized is to select both cylinders and create a Boolean union. So cylinder union, yes, apply, okay. And now that we have our union, or two cylinders in a single part, think of it as we're going to do a cut with a tool that is just like a fork that has two bodies that will cut through at the same time. Instead of cutting one hole and then cutting the other one, we're going to save time and we're going to cut through with both bodies at the same time, which is a good practice to model your part based on how you want it manufactured. So again, let's select our mold, control click on the cylinders, and we're gonna cut, and then we have our mold with the orifices for the screws.